Ha! Here we go. Here we go. I was just gonna make an Aladdin trailer reaction today. Haven't ended up doing that because on another Aladdin video of mine, weird how the algorithm works, I got an incredible, absolutely mind-blowing set of comments. I wasn't gonna make a video on it. Some people are just thick. But the last comment this guy wrote has made me had to make this video. So we'll just start off with his name. What a lad. Abdul Karim Zondergel. Nice, what a lovely chap, just from that. Incredible stuff. So I'm just going to go straight into it here. This was the first comment he wrote because what he did here was incredibly racist, presumptive. I'm sure there was a lot of other stuff in the things this guy believes internally and what he says in his own circles. But this is just the stuff which he's actually put online, the things he feels free to say online. Crazy. YouTube, you need to do more work with how you filter people out if you're actually going to be doing this where you do police speech, because you do it. So I don't see how this guy hasn't been policed. I haven't deleted his comments because, well, I don't delete anyone's comments. I believe anyone should be able to say what they want, but if YouTube is going to be, you know, taking off certain people with certain viewpoints, people who have very far right viewpoints, which are stupid, then this person should also be taken off because he's stupid. So the thread in question was from, ow, damn, another Aladdin video. It was basically me saying that whitewashing in Aladdin isn't really a thing because Billy Magnussen's character is a European prince. It wasn't an original, it's an original character. It wasn't in the previous film, so he's not whitewashing because the role wasn't originally Asian or Middle Eastern. It was new and white, so then they could do what they wanted with it. But not really very controversial. The video was very tame, nothing in it. But then we get this comment. Abdul Karim Zondergel. SJW is a strictly alt-right white people's term. You're trying to copy them in order to be accepted by whites and get approval from whites. You're desperate for white approval. Am I really? But unfortunately, no one is here to see you suck a white man's ass. I didn't know I was doing that. I mean, I think Billy Magnussen is great, but I'm not going to be sucking his butthole. You're a failed... This is where the problem started. Because I don't know if I can say this word. Because I don't say this type of stuff. But I'm going to say it because I'm quoting him. I think it's okay because I'm quoting him. You're a failed house Negro. He literally said that. He said the word. Obviously, he's using it in the context of basically calling me an Uncle Tom for all intensive purposes. I don't know where he thinks he has the right to say that word in general. Because, I mean, I don't think anyone should say that word. But, I mean, he's not black. He's obviously a Muslim, I would assume. Probably a Middle Eastern Muslim. Or maybe he's a Pakistani. I don't know. But, yeah. You probably shouldn't be saying that word, mate. I would advise against it, personally. But what do I know? I'm just an infidel. His next line, learn to tap dance. That might help you do jazz hands. Now, I normally would bust out the jazz hands, but my wrist is hurting a bit, so I'll just do this. I love my jazz hands, alright? Everyone loves jazz hands. You have a problem with jazz hands. That's weird. You're weird. I suppose in Islam, you're not allowed to have music. So I understand why you might not like dancing, because you're not allowed music in Islam. It's haram. So, okay, it's fine. It's your belief. Chill. So I commented very, very calmly. I don't want to get into a fight with anyone needlessly. So I said, maybe I'm not racist against anyone, even people who are white. Does it make me a better person than you? I said, after what you just wrote up there, yes, it does. It makes me a better person than you. I guess it does. I'm relatively centered politically. I am, you know, and most people who are similar in that way don't like SJW stupidity or PC outrage. Have a great day. I left it calm. I had a thought in my head, he's probably going to come back. But I hoped he wouldn't. I really hoped he wouldn't. But no, he came back. NarendraTheComic, you're just continuously parroting what whites have taught you over and over again. Whenever you feel confused and you start to really discover the truth of the matter, you start regurgitating white supremacist talking points. Oh, ay caramba. Pushing the white man's narrative until your head explodes. It hasn't exploded yet. Nope. I very rarely get headaches either, so... yeah, I don't think that's happening. Come on, random Indian guy or whatever your ethnicity is. I mean, I'm Indian. I'm random, that's true. But, you know, I'm Indian, yeah. You know that this isn't you. That was an awfully put together sentence, but well done in your English. You're putting on an act, this isn't you. Bad, bloody hell. Wow, what a scholar. This is something you aspire to be so that white people could go, oh, look at him, he seems to be a safe one to have around. You're desperately trying to get noticed by white society. I deal with your kind on a daily basis, at work, on the street. You people are everywhere because people of color are everywhere now. Yep, that's sort of how the world has gone in the West. Yep, well done. You understand multiculturalism. And there are two kinds of people among people of color. The ass-kissing, regurgitating white people racist narrative type, and the people who just go about their business and aren't constantly looking to serve white people's agenda. You're Uncle Tom. Again, he said the word a house. I don't know where this confidence in him is coming from, but okay. A coon or an Oreo, as the kids say. I mean, I've called myself an Oreo. If England and India are playing in cricket, I'm supporting England. I'm English. I'm British, all right? I'm sorry. That might annoy some people. No, I live in Britain. Do as the Brits do. Sort of how shit works, isn't it? It's crazy how that works. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in France, do as the French do. When in Britain, do as the Brits do. You're a brown man who wishes he could be white. Oh, how I wish I could have paler skin, be more likely to get skin cancer and all those other things. I really, really wish that, yeah, 100%. And wish that they would accept you as a pet or mascot. You calling me a pet? Man, I'm no one's pet, apart from, like, probably my mum's. She can basically do what she wants, you know. But everyone else, they can fuck off. You are a living, breathing example of what Malcolm X called the Uncle Tom. Mate, say what you want. Say what Malcolm X wants. I don't give a flying shit. A flying shit. I used to have some flying shits back in the day, yeah. I used to throw it all about. No amount of kissing their ass will ever change white supremacist stance of people of color. And if you hate being born non-white, brown person, then kill yourself. Again, this was another big problem. You're advocating me to kill myself. I don't know how YouTube is allowing that, you know, on their platform. It didn't even get flagged. Like, normally if someone says a swear word or says something that might be slightly racist in a particular way, then it will go and get flagged, so I have to basically verify the comment. This wasn't. These were all absolutely fine and didn't get pushed up at all. So it makes me question certain things on the algorithm and how that actually works. So yeah, he told me to kill myself. You would rid the world of another snake who is doing nothing but self-serving, collaborating, ass-kissing, shoe-shining, buck dancing, cooning, house. Again, he said that word. And like I'm saying, I'm genuinely quoting the lad. And I've taken screenshots just in case he decides to delete the comments, because he's not getting away with this. Again, I reply very calmly. I'm a calm guy. I don't get angry unless I really, really need to. You're clearly a very rude and aggressive person, and I hope that everyone can see that he is from what he said. And if you want to go that way, then fine. I think you've taken something out of thin air and run with it here. So I'm just trying to defuse, being like, getting back to what the point, which was the video. And he's like, no, this time it's even longer. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I'll put screenshots up at the end for sure. But I'll just read a couple of choice lines because some of them are really fantastic.
You know exactly what I'm saying because I'm speaking to your very soul. And no person of colour on this earth who's in their right mind would ever not understand what I'm saying. Yup.
Okie dokie. Good on you, mate. You keep doing you. Again, he used the words Uncle Tom and house. Again, it's funny, he used the word if he wants to be reformed. Maybe something else needs to be reformed. I don't know. I could just be chatting, but something.
Social justice warrior is a made-up term, made up by racist whites who want to shut people down when they talk about racism in the world.
No, it's just about someone being stupid. It's like there are alt-right fascist Nazis. They're stupid. SJWs. Antifa. They're also stupid. This is a great line here. Are you that much of a piece of crap that you would side with evil just for nothing? So here he's saying that white people are all evil. Not my words. Your lovely, bloody Abdul Karim. If that doesn't make you agree with him, I don't know what does. I'd be in a concentration camp if we live in colonial times. This is the breaking point type stuff, because I know what you're saying is true. But there are convenient things that you haven't mentioned in any of this, and you will not mention, that I will. And we will come to that very soon. They view you as even lower. Apparently we're not viewed as humans by white people. I've never felt that in my life, but he must be right. He must be right. Because a man who respects himself and his people wouldn't do that kind of stuff. I'm not your people and you're not my people. I agree with people, I like people and agree with people who have similar viewpoints to me. I don't care what your race is, I don't care what your gender is, I don't care any of that stuff. Do what you want to do with your life. But if you can have a conversation with me and engage with me properly without needing to be abusive in certain ways, then we can talk and actually go somewhere with it. But if not, then you are not someone that I need to have in my life because you're not conducive to it. You know? So yeah, this idea of your people, I know exactly what you mean. I don't like what you mean, but I know exactly what you mean. And it's complete garbage. Some of these lines are really gonna come back to bite him later on in this video, but a real man thinks for himself and doesn't take on his oppressor's point of view. Wow. I am going to rip you a new arsehole, mate. It's going to be so fun in a little bit. Your people have been raped, killed, mass murdered. Your land has been pillaged by white people. Man, you're turning the screw here. I am gonna explode. Just give me a minute. You are what is called cannon fodder. And if you don't know what cannon fodder is, I mean, I'm just gonna say, I know what cannon fodder is, mate. Yeah, I do. It's what Pakistan does at the Kashmiri border with kids. Yeah, I know. Again, this next line is something that makes me question the YouTube algorithm overall, because this guy at this point is actually inciting violence. I'll just read it to you. Don't fight a white people's fight for them. In fact, you should be on the opposite side of that and fight and wage a war against them. Now, if you're saying wage a war, that means that you're genuinely calling for death. YouTube, where are the people here to sort this stuff out? This isn't cool. But I guess it's normal in your religion to just go and massacre people all the time. It's basically what's been done from beginning to where we are now. So I don't really know what I expect someone to say who's this extreme. Then he wrote this, which was really the breaking point. I was like, yep, you've taken it too far now. You're chatting bull, and I'm gonna have to say something. So, NarendraTheComic, your problem is that you play too damn much, and everything is a game to you people. Brown people getting stomped on and killed all over the world, and you're still over there drinking the white man's Kool-Aid, parroting his nonsense views. Now, I don't know about you, I don't know about who's watching this video. I don't associate with someone or relate to someone just because of the color of their skin. I don't see a brown person and just be like, oh, I know you. I can differentiate you from this other person who's white. I don't care what your skin color is, mate. If you're a dick, you're a dick. If you're a good guy, you're a good guy. And I'll spend time with you and I'll enjoy that time. But you are not someone I would ever want to spend time with. And, well, you know, I don't think anyone really would. You're alive during the most important time in history and you're on the wrong side of history. Make sure you change sides before you die. Now, I don't think that's a threat in itself. You know, but someone who's stupid could probably take that as a threat. I'm not. But you did say I should kill myself, so I'm not going to let that go.
Because history isn't so nice towards traitors and clowns who think everything is just funny.
Well, not in Islam, it's not. They say kill the traitors. They say kill the people who've turned away from Islam, who were born into it. So yeah, I know what you mean. Do you even know how many Indians were killed by the British during colonial times? Do you know about the famine that killed almost 30 million of your people during the 1800s, basically, under British colonial rule? I do. But the straw manning here is wonderful. And I'm going to burn that straw man very, very well. He has the audacity to say, learn about your history, man. Instead of just spouting the bullshit that white people have taught you, they will never want you to know the truth. They want a dancing monkey who does exactly what they want him to do. So educate yourself. I'm going to educate you right now instead. Actually, mate, I just sat through an hour of your video. I watched your video for an hour and 20 minutes because I wanted to see what you actually were, because I wasn't sure if you were just a faceless account. It seemed like it. But there was one video on there. And I can confirm, verified, you're a nut. It's chill though, but I would say you're indoctrinated by your religion, you know? Sometimes it's funny to see. People are, honestly, it's hilarious. And yeah, you asked in the comments if I was Indian. I am Indian. Islam didn't really manage to conquer India in the end, did it? It didn't, no. And I use conquer there because it's the right word to use, yeah? They failed. They failed. And you clearly think a lot of yourself and your religion by saying that everyone else believing in anything bar Allah is categorically wrong. Just a quick question. This just popped up in my head, but you demonize white people in this and say white people are evil and villains and all this type of stuff. What if there was a white person who converted to Islam and they adhered by all the pillars, they were, you know, proper Pakasula Muslim? Are they still racist? Are they Muslim to you, or are they not? I don't know how that works. It seems like not from what you've said. I mean, I give you props. You talked about my views. Yeah, I don't get the most, but I had a look at your video as well, and your engagement isn't very good either. It's worse than mine, and that's a That's really something coming from me. Because it seems like less people care about what you say than even me. You go on about white supremacy and how it's evil, and it definitely is very, very bad, very, very evil. It really is. On a serious note, very not good. But really, if you look at yourself and be honest, you're basically an Islamic supremacist. I think I'm pretty fair in saying that. I watched your video, mate. You might think you were towing a line. You really weren't. Because in that case, you're no different to them on the extreme far right. And I know for a fact, Islam has an incredibly bloody, disgusting, foul history. But everything can change, and the religion can be reformed. And you use the words multiple times in your video, submit to Allah. Now, for me, that sounds like slavery. You're submitting to somebody, you're giving in to them, and you're letting them have their way with you. That sounds like slavery to me. So, not really for that. No. From the video that you put up, it seems like you don't really like the UK that much, or Western democracy in general. You believe in the rule of God is the rule of law. So, I guess that means you believe in Sharia. It's not really a far leap to go there. But, yeah, I mean, if you don't like the UK so much, then just leave. If you really disdain it. Oh, no, but this is the thing. God, see, am I supposed to toe the line or say what I'm meant to say? I'll just say it. Islam, in history, has been a colonizing religion. We can say the Brits colonized the world, and they did for sure. But Islam, for some reason, seems to get this pass. Like, no, they did nothing. They literally tried to colonize the world with their religion in their own way. The Crusades, Islam actually succeeded in their crusades. And that's how the world was like 400 years ago. It's how it was. I'm not going to at you for something that your ancestors did, okay? That's stupid. But if you still hold beliefs that those people held at the time, then there's been no growth, there's been no understanding, and you are just like them. And just for your own knowledge and peace of mind, David Cameron isn't Prime Minister anymore. It's been this lady called Theresa May. Maybe you've heard of her, you know, just for 2.5 years or so now. Maybe more, you know. But you're a well-cultured, rounded guy. You probably just made a common mistake. Most people would just be like, yeah, David Cameron's Prime Minister. Yeah, most people. And you say throughout a lot of the stuff you've written here that the white man is the oppressor. Personally, I don't know about your experience in the UK, but I have never felt oppressed in the UK in my life. Ever. I mean, it's a very open and free society. Anyone can do anything. Maybe that's something you don't like about it, to be honest, but I love it. And just on the oppressor's point here, to get you off your moral high horse and just kick you in the nuts, Islam really assaulted and destroyed India way before any Europeans got there and did anything. So, I mean, you know, Islam oppressed India and Hindus. I have some amazingly disgusting quotes from people who are in charge of particular regions, and they are absolutely foul. But if by your logic I should hate all Europeans and white people and their evil demon people, then surely I should hate Muslims as well. That would make sense, right? From what you've said. From what you've said, that would add up. My wrist really does hurt, but that would make sense, right? I'm sure you wouldn't agree with that. And I'm just going to quote you right now because your hypocrisy is absolutely fascinating. It's really, really something to behold. So you've said, no matter where you originally come from, whether Indian or whatever, your people have been raped, killed, mass murdered, and your land has been pillaged by white people. Now, I don't know what history you've been reading, because maybe you weren't taught the real history of the world, because most people are very unaware of this. But Islam, for all intensive purposes, destroyed India. Tens and tens of millions of people were killed over a very long time because of what Islam did. As I said, Islam hasn't been reformed yet. It's a baby religion for all intensive purposes. It's like 1,200, 1,300 years old. Mate, it's like it's infantile. Just calm down. And the sooner it does get reformed, the better, to be honest with you. When there are people like you who believe the things you do about the world, I mean, I guess there is a problem. Because people can say Islam is a religion of peace or not, but in your own video, you essentially said Islam is not a religion of peace and we don't have love for all. So, you know, it doesn't really add up when people can be like, Islam, religion of peace, and then there's you saying, no, we don't love everyone. I'm sorry, have I missed the memo? What's happening here? And just on the young belief system stuff, For your own knowledge, atheism is actually older than Islam. It's a more ancient thing than Islam. Yeah, by a couple hundred years. So yeah, good to know. Good to know. Just so you're aware of that now, you know. You said that atheism is a fringe minority thing. Well, if atheism is a fringe minority thing, then I guess Islam is as well, because they both have over 1 million people who believe in their belief systems or the thought process. So yeah, if atheism and people who have an agnostic thought are a minority, then I guess so is Islam. It's funny how that works, isn't it? How you can chat and then it's absolute garbage. Unfortunately, as would make sense, you're also an anti-Darwinist, so you're not for evolution or any of that stuff. So the straw manning in the one video on your channel is so disingenuous and cringy. It's absolutely incredible. So just to throw back one of the ones you stated, do you love Osama bin Laden or do you hate him? Because that would speak wonders to you as a person. So there you go. There's a question for you. You might comment down below, you might not. But if there's one thing you answer, a question I have, do you love Osama bin Laden? So please do tell me what your answer is to that. Then in that video you say Islam needs submission. Man, you're not selling this to anyone at all. Anyone who watched that video with any type of critical thought would look at that and just be like, maybe he's not good at explaining it, you know? Or maybe he is good at explaining it. I don't know. But I hope he's not good, because, I mean, he's not convincing anyone. But yeah, you sort of advocated war in your comments, so you know, you probably took it a bit too far. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that. Not a good idea. And I'm pretty sure it's not allowed on YouTube, at least, you know, war. And then a creme de la creme line of be a man for once in your life and think for yourself. Basically, don't think like the white man. Now, this is the most hypocritical line I've ever heard, especially with the context of this. Like, you're saying, think for yourself, be a man. What are you doing? Are you really thinking for yourself if you're saying that God is dictating what you're doing and what you're saying? No, you're not. It's hilarious. It is something else. You're a fucking idiot, mate. You really are. Now, these are just a couple of quotes that I found out about. Some of them I already knew about, and some of them after I had this little conversation with Mr. Abdul Karim. I just looked up, and it really is mind-boggling how the Islamic invasion of India is something which is not talked about at all. And it seems like the Brits just get this entire ball of why India was so mucked up and how they colonized India, you know, but they colonized India pretty late. The Indians weren't under British rule for that long. The Mughals were there for much, much longer and did much more damage than the Brits ever did, in my opinion. So this was from a historical book by Francois Gautier. The book's called Rewriting Indian History. It was written in 1996, and he wrote, "The massacres perpetrated by Muslims in India are unparalleled in history, bigger than the Holocaust of the Jews by the Nazis, the massacre of the Armenians by the Turks, more extensive than even the slaughter of this South American native population by the invading Spanish and Portuguese." It's bonkers that most people would not be aware of that, but it is completely true. So to your point of the white people oppressing Indians and Hindus, man, your hypocrisy levels are like over 9,000. They are absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if you're memeing me or you're taking the piss. Like, I feel like I might need Uganda Knuckles to come over in and wallop you one. And this is really something. This is a disgusting one that I just found out about, but it is factually correct. It is real, it's written, and it's not been altered. So, you know, let's have this one just settle in to how we see things now. A ruler of one of the regions in India once asked his spiritual advisor as to what the Islamic laws prescribed for Hindus. So how we should treat the Hindus. He said that Hindus are like the mud. If silver is demanded from them, they must with the greatest humility offer gold. If a Mohammedan desires to spit into a Hindu's mouth, the Hindu should open it wide for the purpose. God created the Hindus to be slaves of the Muslims. The Prophet hath ordained that if the Hindus do not accept Islam, they should be imprisoned, tortured, and finally put to death. Oh, and their property confiscated. You are a hypocritical bastard, and you have no idea what you're talking about. Apparently, you're teaching people in your video. I hope they're not kids, because you're absolutely destroying their minds. You're a piece of absolute garbage. But I've got another one, and this one is by Will Durant in his 1935 book, The Story of Civilization, Our Oriental Heritage. This is a very old book, I guess. But he said the Muslim conquest in India is probably the bloodiest in history. The Islamic historians and scholars have recorded with great glee and pride the slaughters of Hindus, forced conversions, abduction of Hindu women and children to slave markets, and the destruction of temples carried out by warriors of Islam from 800 to 1700 AD. Millions of Hindus were converted to Islam by the sword during this period. Yep, again, religion of peace. This next one is by Dr. Conrad Elst. It's just an article, but it was called, Was There an Islamic Genocide of the Hindus? And he said that there was no official estimates of the total death toll of Hindus at the hand of Islam. At first glance at important testimonies by Muslim chroniclers suggest that over 13 centuries and a territory as vast as the subcontinent, Muslim holy warriors easily killed more Hindus than the 6 million of the Holocaust. Yep. And this is something cool, interesting, that I didn't know. There were several occasions where the sultans in central India, for 200 years at least, killed 100,000 Hindus a year, which they set as a minimum goal whenever they felt like punishing the Hindus. Yeah, we've really been oppressed by the white man. Really. Contemporary Islamic records boasted about and glorified the crimes that were committed, and the genocide of tens of millions of Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Jainists, mass rape of women, and the destruction of thousands of ancient Hindu or Buddhist temples and libraries have been well documented, and there is solid proof of that. You know, a good way to destroy people is to destroy their literature and their language. It's absolutely bonkers that what you wrote, you believe. It's incredible. I'm nothing like you. I don't believe in what you believe in. There's probably very few things I agree with you on. The only thing that's probably the same or similar about us is that we both have the same coloured skin. Apart from that, nothing. I'm just going to end on this one because this is probably the most staggering of them. The Indian historian Professor K.S. Lal estimates that the Hindu population in India decreased by 80 million between 1000 AD and 1525. An extermination unparalleled in world history. The slaughter of millions of people occurred over regular periods during many centuries of Arab, Afghan, Turkish, and Mughal rule in India. Many Indians emerged during these dark times, including the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, and also the Hindu king, who led the resistance against this tyranny and eventually led to its defeat by the late 1700s after centuries of death and destruction. And just on the Maharashtra Mughal wars, which was, a pretty long war, millions of Hindus died in that. Millions of Muslims died in that. But there's one side that is definitely wrong in this case. And it's the Mughals, for a very simple reason. They weren't there before. You can't, if we're going to go back and say these people did wrong here and these people did wrong here, then everyone should be able to bat off each other and say, well, actually we've improved from that point, or we've grown from that point, and we're not that same society anymore. But when people get lambasted, specifically white people, I hate it when white people are just thrown under the bus for saying, oh, your ancestors did this, your ancestors did that. That wasn't you. I'm not going to at some random person who's English or Scottish or whatever because something that happened 400 years ago. Because that person, I can go and have a beer with, I don't drink anymore. But I can go to a pub with them and sit down and watch some football and chill out. I know I probably would be able to with most people. Because they don't hold the views that people held 400 years ago. My unfortunate reality with this stuff and other stuff like this that I've encountered on my channel, from things which I've said which are very, very tiny, that could really not rub anyone the wrong way, because I'm very clear on how I toe the line. I don't like being aggressive or abrasive against people. But from what you've said and other people who believe the things you do, Islam hasn't really changed that much over the last couple hundred years. The people still hold the same beliefs that they do now. I heard this on the train, that there was this group of Muslim kids, maybe 16 years old, and they obviously didn't understand. They didn't know that I could understand what they were saying, and they were talking about basically raping a girl, raping a white girl, they were saying. And then there was a girl in their group and she was like, yeah, but is that really right? And she got patted down and batted away straight away. They were like, nah, she's a kafir. It's okay, you know? We can do that. It's good. It's what the Prophet wants. These are kids who said that. I just sat there and looked and I was like, you know what? If they were older, I would have probably done something. But they were kids. I'm the one who's going to get looked at for talking to kids or getting involved with that, you know? So it's weird. It really is odd when there are 16-year-olds who have that mindset, you know? It's crazy. But Abdul Karim, I have nothing else to say to you, but learn your history as you were telling me, because obviously I know more than you do. I know facts and you know fiction. Do you see the difference? You know your God, you know your belief system. I know facts. Muslims killed tens and tens of millions of Hindus. Fact. Deal with it. Goodbye.